Okay, here's the essay I submitted for the Writing Reviser. This essay comes from another class. The topic was technology in education, specifically technology within the school in which you are teaching. Okay, if we take a look here, purpose and audience. Over here, it will give you options on what you should put into purpose as well as audience. However, I know the purpose. The purpose was technology in education. And the audience was professor and fellow teachers. Okay. So I don't need to go crazy with those two things there. All right, let's take a look at these icons above the essay. All right, let's analyze these real quick. The statistics, very important. When after writing the essay or pasting it into the Writing Reviser, it breaks it down very nicely for us. And we can take a look at some areas in which we think maybe we can improve or change. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of the larger numbers. 62 words used more than once. That's a very important graphic there, a number there, because many of my essays can sound redundant or repetitive. So I think that's interesting how it caught that in the essay structure. So again, when I go back and make changes, that might be something I want to look at. 35 present tense verbs used. It breaks it down: verbs, pronouns, cliches, and jargon. Okay. Here's the next one though. Possible pronoun problems. All right. We want the essay to sound organized and to sound proper. So 13 possible pronoun problems is a big number. So that's another area maybe I want to go back and fix. Possible misplaced modifiers, 15. Again, that's a big number within the essay. The essay was only about 430 words. So to see that many possible mistakes might be something I want to change. All right, and areas to check for parallelism, 15. That could be, again, using a lot of conjunctions within sentences. Maybe something I want to fix. All right, let's take a look at charts. Sentence length bar chart. A typical essay has about 15 to 20 sentences. Mine has 17. I fall in line. Okay, list. Each of the sentences are listed below. And the next one's numbers, which actually numbers the sentences for you. Okay, it's very nice that it will organize it in this way. Now, the interesting one here is research. And I like this because you can go into the text, you can highlight a sentence, you can highlight a phrase, you can highlight a word, anything that you want to add more information to. So what I've done, I've gone down here to underprivileged children. And we can kind of assume what that means. However, I want to maybe get more specific on what I'm talking about within my school in which I teach. So I highlighted underprivileged children. I clicked research, okay, and then this came up. I already did it, so that's why that came up. And it'll come up to research notes. So you have the phrase here, underprivileged children, and then you have down your notes below it, okay? Now, I put down here, in our school, we tend to see underprivileged children come from students that come from broken homes. That can mean one-parent homes or no parents, living with a relative. And also residential homes. Okay, could also be foster parents that they might be living with. And also just students that live under the standard means of living. Okay, that could be the poor students that are coming from a poor household. All right, so those are some of the research notes, and I click submit, and it's there. So whenever I read or scan over that phrase, I hit the annotation, and there's the information. All right, so you can do that with a lot of different phrases to get a little bit more information onto the essay. Nice idea. All right, so now let's take a look at the essay structure. So I'm going to click this bar right here. It's going to break it down for us. We're going to evaluate the development and organization of the essay. So if we look at the introduction, it gives you some simple steps to evaluate your introduction. We're going to highlight the introduction and click submit. So this essay, unfortunately, did not have a great introduction. It kind of was more, this should maybe been more of a body paragraph. But let's take a look and see what they suggest here. I'm going to click submit, and here's the introduction. Okay, so it's a little bit easier read for you. They have it up here. Click OK. Now, it says here, consider these questions. Have I stated my purpose? So in the essay, have I stated anything about technology and education and the purpose of writing this essay? All right, I thought it was very interesting how they asked kind of like essential questions that I can use to kind of help to make the essay a little bit more productive. All right, have I kept my audience in mind? Does my thesis identify my topic? Does my thesis create an expectation I can meet? And does my thesis clarify my approach, example, analysis, explanation, argument, etc.? All right, so those are important questions that we need to ask or consider when writing our introduction. And when looking at mine, I think these are some questions that I might need to ask myself and maybe add some more information to have a better introduction. So that's an area right there that I can change or adjust. Okay. If we click About Introductions, it's going to give us a little information. This site is great at giving little pointers, quick facts, thesis statement, quick facts, and then it gives you several types of thesis statements. So a lot of information there. All right, let's go out of essay structure. All right, again, it's going to do the same thing for body, conclusion. Let's take a look at organization. To evaluate the organization of your essay, follow these steps. Think about the order of your paragraphs and ask yourself, have I followed a logical pattern? Have I left out any key ideas? And have I avoided needless repetition? Okay, we know from the statistics that the repetition, I use 62 words more than once, as we can see right here. Okay, so that might be something, an area I want to look at. And think about the order of your sentences within paragraphs and ask yourself, have you followed a logical pattern? Have you left out any key ideas? Have you avoided needless repetition? Again, okay, organization of the essay. So it gives you a lot of good pointers on how to fix the essay or how to make it more organized and just better functioning. Okay, let's take a look at sentence economy. Wordiness. All right, interesting here. I'll highlight the words that might be unnecessary. So let's take a look at the first one. Due to lack of academic credits and behavioral issues that surface on a daily basis in our school, many students do not take the route of going to college. Okay, that right there sounds like a long, maybe even drawn out or run-on sentence almost. Okay, what they highlighted was the possible areas of just too many words and wordiness. So that might be an area where I just say, I don't want that in there anymore. Okay, so let's see if I can erase that. I'll reread the sentence. So, due to lack of academic credits and behavioral issues that surface in our school, many students do not take the route of going to college. It sounds a little bit more organized and a better sentence structure there without the wordiness. So this is a great little app here for this program. Let's do one more. I have aligned my teaching practices with our school mission on a daily basis. Okay, if we get rid of that little phrase there, that does still sound a little bit like a run-on sentence. I have aligned my teaching practices with our school mission. Okay, so I can go down through here. As you can see here, I use on a daily basis over here again. So these might be things that I want to take out in the essay. Prepositional phrases. I think we saw about how many do we see? Let's take a look. Prepositional phrases. We saw 53. Okay, as you can see here, 53. So now, knowing that statistic, that might be something I want to change, or maybe it is good. Let's take a look. All right, breaks it down for us. Sentence number 1, 2. Now 2 has red. 7 is red. 10 is red. It looks like the red ones consist of more prepositional phrases within the sentence. Okay, so this can add even more information that we do not need. So let's take a look at sentence number 2. Let's read it again. Due to lack of academic credits and behavioral issues that surface in our school, many students do not take the route of going to college. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm not too familiar with prepositional phrases and how to change them. So let's take a look at the information they give us. So it says roll over, click each sentence number. We did that. Red indicates a sentence with 4 or more phrases. Okay. Do you want to keep these phrases? Or can you cut some to make the sentence more direct? Revise as necessary by typing into the draft. Alright, there are 4 in this sentence, so I think that's something that we can get rid of. Let's take a look at the prepositional phrases, see what they tell us. Prepositional phrases are essential to effective writing. However, too many of these phrases can make a sentence wordy and choppy, and sometimes shows that you have not chosen a forceful verb. So it gives you an example here, wordy. John will go shopping at the mall in Grand Valley on Thursday in the morning at 11 a.m. Okay, a revised version. On Thursday, John will go shopping at the Grand Valley Mall at 11 a.m. Alright, so it gives you an example that you could possibly use. So what we'll do here, due to lack of academic credits and behavioral issues that surface in our school, many students do not take the route of going to college. Okay, now this might be something where I just take out some information and make the sentence a little bit shorter. Alright, so I go down throughout all these, especially the ones in red, and I figure out what I want to get rid of, or maybe what I want to adjust. Alright, that's the prepositional phrases. Gives you a passive voice, relative clauses, repeated words. Here's another one. Again, within statistics. We saw that words, I repeated 62 words that were used more than once, okay? So let's take a look here. Repeated words. The word the, 19 times. To, of, and, our, that. Okay? All these words are used. Now these words are pretty important and I might need. However, when looking at the prepositional phrases, a lot of these words are used in the prepositional phrases. So if I adjust the prepositional phrases, I think this count will adjust as well. Okay? But when I'm talking about adjectives, I don't want to use the same adjectives over and over again. So I think that's something that you want to look at and make sure you're not being repetitive in that manner. And also some of the nouns. You don't want to use the same things. I don't want to use technology over and over again. Can I find another word for technology? Okay, if it's used too much. Some of those words, keywords, very important words. However, can I use another word in its place? Okay. Sentence variety, take a look here. Simple sentences, sentence fragments. Okay, just gives you a little information on that. Prepositional phrase openings. Alright, due to lack of academic credits, that's an area, probably a sentence I need to fix because that sentence keeps popping up. And here's another one with the use of technology in the classrooms. Might be a phrase that I might want to change as well. Okay. Sentence power. Find ways to make your sentences more powerful. Alright, gives you the verbs that you have used. Alright, gives you an idea about that. And hidden verbs, verb tenses, okay, gives you all that information. Alright, let's click on finish. And if you are satisfied with your revised draft, select one of the following options. We're going to save it. Alright, let me save it from here. I'll save that one later. We'll do that later. Okay, so this is the Writing Reviser essay. These are all the options that go into it. I think it's a great program. A lot of different options. I think if, again, these are some ideas that I would want to use in the classroom as well with our students. And when they have their writing assignments, some parts of it might be a little bit complicated to take a look at. However, if I can modify it and do my own thing with it, I think it could be very effective in the classroom.